as the World Tech Expo kicked off its opening day. I adjusted my exhibitor badge, still somewhat amazed to see Emma Carter Vo Quantum Innovations printed beneath my photo. 6 years of being called a basement dweller and wannabe inventor had led to this moment. My tiny booth, tucked between industry giants, displayed a single device, sleek, black, and about the size of a smartphone. It didn't look like much, but it was about to revolutionize the energy industry. Or more specifically, it was about to revolutionize Carter Energy Solutions, my family's company, whether they knew it or not. Still playing with your toys, little sister? I didn't need to turn around to recognize James's voice, filled with the same condescension he'd perfected since our childhood. My oldest brother, now CEO of Carter Energy, stood there in his perfectly tailored suit, flanked by our middle brother Michael, the company's CFO. The adults are having their convention down at the Energy Summit, Michael added, smirking. This is cute though. Very cute. I smiled, remembering all the family dinners where they'd mocked my obsession with quantum physics and renewable energy. Here to see the competition? James laughed, the sound drawing attention from nearby booths. Competition? Emma, you work out of your garage. We're a Fortune 500 company. Speaking of which, Michael chimed in, Dad wanted us to remind you that his retirement party is next month. Try to wear something professional. Maybe leave the circuit boards at home. I watched as they moved through the expo, their matching Carter Energy badges catching the light. They hadn't even bothered to look at my device, the one I'd spent 6 years developing. The one that would either save or destroy their company, depending on the next 24 hours. My phone buzzed, a message from my patent attorney, all set for tomorrow's announcement. Their legal team doesn't suspect anything. I typed back, they never do. That's the problem. Another message popped up, this time from Diana Chin, CEO of Global Tech Solutions. We're ready when you are. Their arrogance will be their downfall. 6 years ago I tried to warn them. Fresh out of MIT with a double doctorate in quantum physics and electrical engineering, I'd presented my initial designs to the Carter Energy Board. My brothers had led the chorus of laughter, dismissing my renewable energy concept as science fiction. Miss Carter. A voice interrupted my thoughts. I turned to see a young woman in a lab coat, eyes shining with excitement. I'm Dr. Sarah Martinez from Berkeley. Your paper on quantum energy transmission was brilliant. Would you mind signing my copy? As I signed her paper, I caught James watching from across the hall, his expression a mix of confusion and dismissal. He still didn't get it. None of them did. The convention center's speakers crackled. Attention attendees. The keynote presentation will begin in 30 minutes. I began preparing my demonstration unit, knowing that in half an hour, everything would change. My brothers had spent the last 6 years building their real business, expanding Carter Energy's fossil fuel empire, ignoring the shifting market, and dismissing renewable energy as a passing fad. What they didn't know was that their entire infrastructure relied on a transmission technology that was about to become obsolete. A technology whose patent was expiring tonight at midnight. A technology that my quantum device could replace with 90% more efficiency and zero environmental impact. My phone buzzed again, a message from Carter Energy's largest client. Contract ready for signing. Just waiting for the keynote. I looked up to see James and Michael entering the main presentation hall, probably there to mock whatever toys were being unveiled. They had no idea they were about to witness their company's future being rewritten. Miss Carter. A convention organizer appeared. You're on in 20 minutes. I nodded, picking up my device. 6 years of mockery, dismissal, and condescension were about to pay off in ways my brothers couldn't imagine. The main hall of the convention center fell silent as I took the stage. From my position at the podium I could see James and Michael in the third row, already looking bored. Next to them sat Carter Energy's chief legal counsel Harrison Wells, frantically typing on his phone. Ladies and gentlemen, I began, my voice steady. What if I told you that everything you know about energy transmission is about to change? I held up my device. This is the Q-Core. It's not just another energy transmission system, it's a complete paradigm shift in how we move and manage power. The technical specifications appeared on the giant screen behind me. I watched Harrison Wells stop typing, his face slowly draining of color as he read the details. Using quantum tunneling principles, The Q-core can transmit power with 98% efficiency, compared to the current industry standard of 75%. I paused, making eye contact with my brothers. And yes, I'm talking about the standard that Carter Energy's entire infrastructure is built upon. James was still smirking, but Michael had started to fidget with his tie. They still didn't get it. But the real breakthrough isn't just the efficiency, I continued. The Q-core is completely compatible with renewable energy sources, something the current systems struggle with. And the best part? I clicked to the next slide. It's already been approved by every major regulatory body worldwide. Harrison Wells was now frantically whispering to my brothers. I could read his lips. She owns the patent, completely locked down, no workarounds. As of midnight tonight, I announced, the patent protection on the current industry standard transmission technology expires. And as of 12:01 a.m., I smiled directly at my brothers. The Q-core becomes the only viable option for any company wanting to stay competitive in the energy market. The room erupted in murmurs. James stood up, his face red, but Michael pulled him back down. They were finally starting to understand. I've already signed partnership agreements with Global Tech Solutions for manufacturing and... I clicked to the final slide, displaying logos of the biggest energy companies worldwide. These industry leaders have already committed to implementing the Q-core technology. Harrison Wells was now openly panicking, showing my brothers document after document on his tablet. I could see the moment it hit them. Every single one of Carter Energy's major clients was on that list. For those interested in licensing the technology, I continued, my team will be accepting meetings starting tomorrow morning. Though I should mention the licensing fee increases by 10% every month for the next year. The room burst into chaos as reporters shouted questions and industry executives rushed to get in line for meetings. Through it all, I kept my eyes on my brothers. James was now standing, shouting into his phone, likely calling our father. Michael sat frozen, staring at the technical specifications with growing horror. They were realizing that while they'd been mocking my toys, I'd been building their replacement. My phone buzzed with a message from Diana Chin. Masterfully done. Their stock is already dropping. Another message followed, this one from Harrison Wells himself. We need to talk. Urgently. I stepped away from the podium as security held back the surge of reporters. 6 years of being the family disappointment, the basement inventor, the dreamer who needed to get a real job. It had all led to this moment. 3 hours after the keynote, I sat in my hotel suite's conference room, watching my brothers and Harrison Wells squirm in their seats. The city lights of Las Vegas twinkled behind them, a fitting backdrop to this showdown 6 years in the making. This is blackmail, James snarled, his perfect suit now wrinkled from hours of panic. No, I corrected, sliding forward the market analysis. This is business. The same real business you were so proud of building. Harrison Wells cleared his throat. Miss Carter. Emma. Surely we can reach some kind of family agreement here. Family agreement? I laughed, pulling out an old notebook. Like the agreement 6 years ago when I brought this technology to the board? I opened it to a page filled with their mocking comments, meticulously recorded. Let me quote, "Come back when you want to do real work instead of playing scientist." Michael, unusually quiet, was studying the technical specifications. This is why you were asking about our infrastructure upgrades last Christmas. Finally catching up, are you? I opened my laptop, displaying Carter Energy's stock price, down 23% since my announcement. While you were building bigger pipelines, I was building the future. Dad will never allow this, James threatened. Right on cue, my phone rang, Dad's face appearing on the screen. I put it on speaker. Emma. His voice was tired, proud, and somewhat amused. I just watched the video of your keynote. Why didn't you tell me? The same reason you didn't tell them that you've been secretly funding my research for the past 3 years. James and Michael's heads snapped up in shock. You what? James shouted. Dad's chuckle filled the room. Did you really think your sister, with her double doctorate in quantum physics expertise, was working out of her garage? I've been watching all of you. Emma was the only one who saw where the industry was really heading. Harrison Wells was frantically revising documents. We need to discuss terms immediately. Your clients are already calling about canceling contracts. My terms are simple, I said, sliding forward a folder. Carter Energy becomes a subsidiary of Quantum Innovations. I take over as CEO of both companies. James and Michael stay on as regional managers, if they're willing to actually learn the new technology. This is ridiculous. James stood up. We'll fight this. With what? I asked quietly. Your outdated technology? Your dropping stock price? Your fleeing clients? I pulled up another document. Or maybe with the environmental impact report that I'm releasing tomorrow, showing how your real business has been cutting corners for years? Michael put his head in his hands. You've been planning this all along. No, I corrected him. I tried to work with you. Multiple times. You were too busy mocking me to notice. Harrison Wells stood up. I'll have the paperwork drawn up tonight. The board will support this. They don't have a choice. As they filed out of the room looking shell-shocked, my phone buzzed with messages from tech companies around the world. The Q-Core wasn't just a new product. It was a revolution in energy transmission. And I had made sure Carter Energy would either evolve or dissolve. Dad was still on the speaker. Your mother would be so proud. I smiled, remembering her encouragement of my early experiments, before cancer took her away. She always said the best revenge is massive success. Speaking of success, he added, I just got off the phone with the Nobel Committee. They're very interested in your quantum tunneling breakthroughs. Looking out over the Vegas lights, I thought about all those family dinners where I'd sat quietly, taking notes while my brothers boasted about their business deals. They never realized that true power isn't in making deals. It's in creating something that changes everything. Tomorrow I would begin transforming Carter Energy into something better. My brothers would learn to adapt or be left behind. And that notebook full of their mockery? I'd have it framed and hung in my new office.